My sister Ray, who is 42 years old, was trying to have a child for a long time but struggled with infertility. After years of trying and money spent on fertility clinics, she finally had a miracle baby, Sue, who is now 12 years old. Since Ray and her husband view Sue's existence as a miracle, they treat her as one. From the time she could vocalize her wants, she got everything she wanted. As a result, Sue is kind of a nightmare. Whenever our family gets together, we have to do whatever she wants. We have to eat whatever she wants to eat, watch whatever movies she wants to watch. And we can't do anything outside, even though the rest of the family loves the outdoors, because Sue hates nature and will literally scream if she gets so much as a speck of dirt on her shoe. We had to stop doing Christmas together because she would throw tantrums if my kids got something she wanted. I keep telling Ray that she is only setting Sue up for failure by spoiling her. Sue has no friends at her school because she doesn't understand that other kids aren't going to give her whatever she wants because they don't see her as a miracle the way her parents do. She also has a bunch of mannerisms that other kids that age grew out of years ago. She still picks her nose in public, still whines and whimpers when things don't go her way, still shops at Justice, and still believes in Santa and the Easter Bunny. Ray won't listen to me and says I should let kids be kids, ignoring the fact that Sue will be a teenager soon. Last weekend, we were all gathered at my parents' house, and Sue was writing a letter to Santa like she did every year. Of course, it was pages and pages long with a list of the most outrageous things a 12-year-old could think of. I wasn't planning on saying anything. I never do. But one day, while Ray was away, Sue and my son Finn, who is 9 years old, came running to me. Sue clearly had been crying, and Finn looked rather smug. They both asked me if Santa was real. Normally, Sue would never ask me to resolve issues. But her parents weren't there, and I wasn't going to coddle her the way her parents did. I said Santa wasn't real. The minute Ray got home, Sue ran to her crying and screaming that I told her Santa wasn't real. Ray tried to calm her down and told her of course Santa was real, and I was lying. When Ray put Sue down for a nap, "Yes, you read that right," she scolded me. She said I had no business trying to parent her child. I then told her that she wasn't parenting her child, so someone had to. Maybe the first step to self-awareness for her is learning Santa isn't real. I was hoping Ray would wake up and see the reality of the situation, but now she's just ignoring my texts and calls. When I told my husband about everything, he wasn't as supportive as I thought he would be. He agrees Sue is unbearable, but it's not my place to fix that, and what I did probably did more harm than good. Should I have just said Santa was real and not gotten involved in this situation? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. In my view, you would only have been AH in this situation if Sue had asked you, "Is Santa real?" when her mom was actually there, then you could have sent her off to her mom to get the answer her mom wanted to give. IME as a babysitter and aunt, school-age kids, and I mean from 5 onwards, give only lip service to the idea that Santa is real. They may have the idea that if they admit they no asterisk, there's no Santa, their parents will stop providing them with a filled stocking from Santa. This may just be my own experience, but I've literally known starry-eyed kids limpidly assuring their mom and dad that they absolutely do believe in Santa Claus, then say to me, "I know he's not actually real." Whether Sue actually believes or not is not your business. But if her mom hoped to conceal from her forever the fact that most people over the age of 5 know Santa is fictional, her mom must have known that was impossible. Not your problem, though. Comment 2. Not the idiot, surprisingly. You are not obligated to lie to your child in order to protect someone else's lie. It's different if you had gone out of your way to tell this child Santa is not real, but that's not how this all played out. Interestingly, my 10-year-old still believes, but I refuse to say that Santa is real. I just let him talk about it. When my 4-year-old asks about it, I say that Santa has a budget because the parents have to pay for the toys and the elves, so she can't choose everything she wants. In our house, Santa brings a stocking and one gift. Parents provide the rest. I'm not going to make some child feel bad that our Santa brought our kids something very expensive. And Mrs. Claus brings them a bag of books. ETA, typo. Comment 3. You're the idiot. Appears both you and your son are proud of yourselves for your unkind behavior. None of what you describe about Sue's behavior gives you the right to be purposely nasty to a 12-year-old. You knew exactly what you were doing and knew damn well you were not helping in any way. ETA. Adults should not be answering questions like this ever if it's not your own child. It's no one's job to answer questions about Santa, God, where babies come from, where people go when they die, etc. Leave those things to parents. Sue clearly has some delays in her development. Perhaps due to your sister's parenting, perhaps due to other reasons, but at no point did you have Sue's best interest in mind here. Your husband is right. Now, for the next story. My sister thinks I'm the AH here, but I'm not sure. I, male 31, went on a third date today with a girl, female 30. I met online. I really like this girl. We went to a pub for a drink after the activity we had planned was canceled. We had a few non-alcoholic drinks and ended up having a conversation about food. She said the conversation was making her hungry, and I agreed. We chatted for about another 30 minutes, during which she mentioned maybe 2 more times that she was hungry. I suggested ending the date, and she agreed. We had agreed to a simple date, as her car had unexpected problems that meant she had very little money until payday, so I assumed she didn't want to pay to eat out. When I got home, my sister was surprised I was back so soon, as she knew I liked the girl, so I explained. She then basically called me an idiot and said I should have paid for us both to eat, as the girl would probably have paid next time. She is probably right, as so far we have split everything equally, and in one of our conversations, the girl had told me she found one guy she dated awkward as he insisted on paying for everything, and she didn't like that. I could have offered to extend the date and buy us both dinner, but I didn't really think of it. My sister says I've outed myself to my date as a selfish AH who is tight with money, and now I'm worried that's how I've come across. Comment 1. I don't know. I do think you are a bit of an idiot. You literally said you assumed since she didn't have money she couldn't pay to eat. So it never once occurred to you to treat her dinner one time. Like you are dating someone and it just doesn't cross your mind that you could. Just one time, pay for her to eat? I think you are TA because you knew you could just order some pub food, but you chose to end the date instead. You are so hung up on going 50-50ths that you cannot envision a time when you would cover the entire bill. I also think you are TA because at a certain point in life, being that oblivious makes you an AH. It means you are not making the effort. You are just floating along with a complete lack of awareness of other people and the world in general. I would be surprised if this woman continues to date you much longer. You should at least send her a text apologizing for being so obtuse. Also, maybe open your mind a bit and understand that sometimes people who like each other treat each other to meals. Comment 2. I wouldn't call you an AH, but you did come across as cheap. You sounded like you draw the line in having to pay something. You would rather end the date than go out to eat. And you don't even know if she wanted you to pay. Maybe she saved a bit for food. She just wanted you to suggest for you both to eat something. Instead, you just said, okay, let's end the date and you can go eat. That is a whole bucket of cold water in the head. She probably thinks you are cheap or that you are not interested or both. If you like her, make it right ASAP. Comment 3. You're the idiot. If you have the means, she mentioned 3 times that she was hungry. You knew she was short on funds. You say you like her and you'd like to keep dating her. Why not say, how about we get something to eat? My treat this time, you can get the next time. Or, if you don't have the means, sorry, wish I was in a position to offer you dinner, but I'm strapped. Now for the next story. So, recently my aunt, 41 years old, and her son, 13 years old, came home to my country from Sweden. We have a spare room where my dresses are hung since my room is a little small. They're sort of hidden away on a rack in the corner, so you have to pull them out to see them. My aunt and my cousin were going to sleep in there, which I didn't have a problem with. He's mentally handicapped, I don't really know what it is, and practically acts like a 7-year-old, which is a little annoying, but I don't blame him or anything. When I woke up in the morning, it was really hot and everyone was downstairs, so I walked into the spare room to find a dress, only to find practically every single one with cuts and parts on the floor. I basically freaked out and instantly knew who it was since my aunt and mom wouldn't do something like that. I stormed downstairs and screamed at him, which attracted my aunt and mom to come immediately. I couldn't be calmed down at all since I bought most of the dresses with my own money. He started crying and my aunt hugged him, trying to console him, while my mom started yelling at me for making him cry. He even admitted to it after a while, and even then they consoled him. My mom offered to pay for some, but it's only enough for like 10 dresses, and I had over 30. Besides, I can't find some of my favorites since we're getting closer to winter, and the fact that I was proud that I paid for them myself. Some of my family, including my mom and aunt, are all telling me I'm in the wrong and to apologize to him, but I really don't think I'm wrong. Am I the idiot? Some context. I am a 16-year-old CIS woman and haven't seen my aunt and cousin for a little over 2 years. We have a shared desk besides the dresses that have a few scissors here and there. We, my mom and I, forgot about them when they came, so we didn't hide anything away. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Dear Mom and Aunt, if my cousin is incapable of bearing responsibility for his behavior, then he is incapable of being left alone without parental supervision. As the adults in the situation, it is your responsibility to fully replace the property that was lost when you left someone unsupervised who you know should not be left alone. Here is a list of what was lost along with a total price. If they complain about the price, you can remind them how many hours of your life you worked for that money. Comment 2. Cut up her clothes. See how she likes it. I know you can't do that. I am a little grumpy. There is no way she didn't see this happen. If she claims she didn't, then she is neglectful as a parent. He obviously had access to something sharp. Your aunt should pay for the dresses. Ask your mother how she would like all her clothes cut up. Then hand your cousin a scissor and show him to her closet. Yep, still grumpy. So sorry your dresses were ruined. That was so preventable and horrible. Comment 3. Practically acts like a 7-year-old asterisk. Even a 7-year-old wouldn't do such a thing. And if he's prone to destroying things, your aunt shouldn't have left him out of her sight. So you are probably barking up the wrong tree. Make your aunt pay for your dresses. All of them. How long did she leave him unsupervised for him to destroy all your dresses? Not the idiot. Now, for the next story. My ex and I were together for 9 years, and we had a son who was 3 when I learned my ex got another woman pregnant. I filed for divorce right away, and he moved in with his other woman. Right after the birth of my ex's daughter, the other woman disappeared off the face of the earth. My ex's sister told me that the other woman hadn't wanted a baby, and it was suspected she moved back to the UK, where she was originally from, but none of them knew for sure. Ex and I have equal parenting time with our son. We are supposed to split the cost of things, but I normally pay more because he's unable to provide everything. The judge ruled no child support because we technically make the same. It's just he has an extra mouth to feed. Our son is now 8, and ex's daughter is 5. My ex has expressed concerns a few times about how much more our son has. Our son wanted to do extracurricular activities, so I pay for those. I also make sure he has all he needs for school, while my ex struggles to provide for his daughter the way our son is provided for. Ex wanted us to work together so both kids can be equally looked after. And I told ex it is not my job to ensure his daughter is provided for. I told him he has 2 kids to provide for while I have 1, and that is his fault, not mine. He argued that I should be thinking of the kids who are innocent when I make this decision, and I said no. Ex raised even more concerns after the kids went back to school, his daughter going to elementary school for the first time, and his daughter had fewer school supplies than our son, and he said I didn't send them to his house. Son kept them on him since he was with me the first day of school. He said his daughter noticed her brother had cooler stuff and was upset. He also said his daughter had to dip into some class supplies while our son had more than enough. He mentioned their school bags having way different quality, etc. And he said this is going to make his daughter's life much harder in the future because she won't understand why. I didn't care about his concerns and reminded him again that I am not responsible for his daughter in any way. He went off on me and said I was being a shitty person, dismissing his concerns, and he said we are meant to work these things out together. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Lots of exes with kids up in this am I the idiot round. But let's be clear. Your ex has to explain to his child that he can't afford nicer things, whereas someone else is paying for nicer things for that kid's brother. It isn't hard or not understandable. Kids get it if you explain it. Parents just don't like explaining that they can't provide something they want to provide. You sent your kid to school with school supplies. Your ex provided 0 of those school supplies. Your ex has told you that he was going to attempt to take your son's school supplies to give to his other child who he can't afford supplies for. It's tough when kids have to deal with inequality at a young age. It's important that you teach your son humility and generosity, but also to stand up for himself as well. You're never going to be the idiot for not buying some random kid's school supplies. But be careful with your son about the messages your son learns about the difference. Comment 2. There's a really simple solution here. He can find the mom and make her pay child support. He can get a second job. He can ask family for money. He can sell some possessions. He can dip into his retirement money. He can get rid of cable. He can switch to generic brands. He can learn how to count cards in Vegas. He can start an Etsy store. It's 100% true that the kids having unequal stuff will cause problems between them. But that's his responsibility to work harder to fix, not the idiot. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Not my job to ensure his daughter is provided for. I told him he has 2 kids to provide for, while I have 1, and that is his fault, not mine. Facts. He argued that I should be thinking of the kids who are innocent. Oh, well, if it isn't him not liking the consequences of his own actions and wants to manipulate it. His daughter will eventually understand why, and he knows once she figures it out, he's going to look bad. Glad he's your ex, BTW. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.